Hi, I'm Jake, the creator of Luminary. This is a quick video showing off the tool. So Luminary is an AI pipeline tool that allows you to create complex AI behaviors by creating multiple OpenAI assistants and linking them together. What I'm doing right now is showing a quick demo of a video pipeline that I've created. So I've created a pipeline that I can ask it to create multiple videos. It will generate outlines for those videos. Each outline will then be sent to a script generator, which will create a script for the video, and then each of those scripts will be sent to a Pictory video creator. Pictory is an API service that creates AI videos, and so we go ahead and send a request to that, and it generates the video, and then the application downloads it and allows you to view those videos. So this is just a quick demo of how a pipeline will work. You can see it's generating all of this information, and now at this point it's waiting for Pictory to generate the videos. This will take a couple of minutes, so I'm just going to speed through this real quick. Okay, and now all of the videos have been generated. We can see all of the logs here, saving all of the objects, and we can see the objects on the right side. So the way that Luminary works is you deal with objects and assistants. So the objects are what's going to be created and passed between your bots, and of course the assistants are the bots themselves. We can see on the right side this object tree shows all the script outlines that we generated, and we can see the details of those script outlines. We can see the scripts that generated. Then we had to generate a Pictory request to create the video. We then watched Pictory jobs and Pictory render to make sure that it fully rendered the video. And when all that was completed, we ended up with a video. And Luminary automatically downloaded the video for us, and also the thumbnail of the video. We can click on this.
Rising like a spiraling giant from the heart of Shanghai, the Shanghai Tower dominates the skyline with its breathtaking form. A marvel not just of size.
So that's the automatically generated video. And we can also go to outputs, and we can see all the videos that we created here. We can look at the thumbnails and videos as well. And that's just a very easy way to see the final outputs of everything. So, how does this work? How did I make this? Well, in order to create a pipeline like this, you go to the Build tab, and the first thing you do is create objects. So we have a schema creator, and we can take a look at the script outline object for an example. We can see that we name our object, give it a description, and then we give it fields. So every field can have a different type, and it also has validation as well. We support objects and arrays and all that good stuff. So from there, once you create your schema, you can also import it from JSON as well, and it'll take an example and turn it into a schema like this. So once that's done, you have your objects, and then you go over to your assistants. So assistants, normally you create this in the OpenAI website. You would go to OpenAI Playground and create an assistant there. But Luminary allows you to create assistants within the tool. So we'll save it to OpenAI for you, and we'll also save some extra information that we need to run the assistant. So the first thing here, we have all of the normal fields that we use to create in OpenAI. So the name, the response, the model. The next thing is we have assistant functionality. So this is the inputs and outputs of an assistant. Inputs and outputs are just the objects that we created earlier. So here's all the objects that we looked at earlier. And this particular video assistant takes in a script, and it outputs multiple things, including a video and of course the Pictory request, job, and render. So with those inputs and outputs, I can now define functions. Now, normally when we define functions for the AI, all we do is tell it what the function is and what properties it needs to pass as parameters. We don't actually give it our code or anything because we don't want OpenAI to run our code, but we tell it what our code looks like so that it can call the function. This is the same thing here. We have this JSON that tells AI how to call the function, and we can even automatically fill all of this in based on a schema. So if we select a schema here, it will change all of this information so that it's different, right? Okay, and then what we can do, I'm just going to set this back, is at the bottom we have implementation. So this is where the actual code comes in. And the way that Luminary works, you can write code in any language, JavaScript, Python, C, whatever you want. And as long as you can run that code via a terminal command, then Luminary will work. So what I've done is I've written a JavaScript Pictory command that actually sends it to Pictory and checks to see if it's rendering and all that sort of stuff. And what I've done is I'm saying I'm going to run this with Node, and this is the path to my script. So you can just select, whatever JS script you have on your computer, and that's what you want to run. We also support environment variables, so if there's particular environment variables that you need in your script, you can set those as well. And finally, we have isOutput function. So the output function allows Luminary to know that this is the function that's being called at the end, and we need to grab the information from this and pass it to the next assistant. There may be other functions that your bot needs to run, such as maybe searching the internet or something like that. Those don't need to be output functions. So you can make as many functions as you want, and then you'll typically have one output function that would send the output to your script. Right? So that's how that works, and that's how the Pictory video generated earlier that you saw. So to continue creating an assistant, we now need to tell it what it needs to do. We need to give the bot instructions. So to give the AI instructions, I've broken it down into 3 parts. Identity and business logic. This is where you tell the assistant who it is and what its purpose is. Then we have processing steps, so you outline the specific steps that you want. And then functions and output instructions. So this is where you give examples of the output and also what functions you want to call. Okay? And then we have system instructions. So these instructions are actually generated automatically by me, and sometimes there's more instructions than just array handling. So if I didn't have an output function and I save this, then we would see a default output format. And it's actually going to tell the AI how to output all of the models that I'm supposed to be outputting. So if you don't have your own function to run, we take care of it. We create a send output function for you automatically. So when I go to save this, it'll actually show me previews of all of the functions that it wants to create, and it's going to manage those for me. So I'm actually going to set this back because I don't want to change anything here. And then finally we have a preview, and this is the full system instructions combined with all of the schemas that you put in, all of the system generated instructions, as well as the instructions you put in yourself. Okay, so that's how assistant editing works. So once we have our objects and once we have our assistants, that gives us everything we need to create a nice graph. So this is a node graph editor, and every assistant becomes a block, and every assistant has inputs and outputs. So you can see that this script creator has a script outline input, and it outputs a script, and then we pass that to the video creator. So creating pipelines is as easy as creating the objects, creating the assistants and telling them what you want them to do, and then linking those assistants together using a graph like this. And that's basically it. So once you have your graph set up and your assistant set up, you go back to execute, and you can select any of your assistants and start a conversation. The nice thing is you can start a conversation anywhere in the pipeline. So if I wanted to start at the beginning, I would start with a bulk outline generator and it would pass all the way through. But I could also start at the script creator and give it my own script outline by just typing into chat, right? So that's how that works. And then finally, I'll show off a couple other extra features. So we have a projects system that allows you to create multiple projects, and when you create a new project in Switch, it gets rid of all of the objects that we had here and clears them out. All of the all of the objects and the assistants stayed the same, but projects allow you to have different series of generated objects and switch between them, right? So we have projects and then we have profiles. Profiles hold all of the objects, assistants, graphs, all of that information. And you can change profiles, so I have multiple profiles here. And I can also export and import profiles. When you export a profile, it will save it to a zip file. And then you can import that zip file and it will restore all of that information. Not only does it restore the assistants, the objects, and the graphs, but it will also copy all of the functions that you had linked. So the entire folder that surrounded your function, and go ahead and copy that as well. So if I have a node folder that has my Pictory.js in it, it will grab that whole thing, including the node modules, and put it into the zip folder. That way, when you import it, not only do you have all of the assistance and configuration, but you have the code that went with that configuration as well. So that's basically it. I appreciate everybody watching, and look out for more updates. Thanks.